Hey everybody, Tammi C. Walker, the owner of Dreams Are a Reality. I create this channel to provide light and love. How you all doing? I'm doing good. I want to hit you with this one today. The reason why some people, they don't get what they want. This is not the sole reason, but I feel this may have something to do with it for some people. I think it did for me. So before I get started with all that, hit that like button, hit subscribe. You all know what we do on Dreams Are Reality. I hope you are well wherever you are. I'm doing good. Do you all ever have one of those days where things just roll like smooth? I shouldn't say it was smooth. It wasn't nothing bad, but I do typically like to jump up and get my shower. You all know my little routine. I tell you all, the shower don't go first. The coffee and the diffuser and journaling. It wasn't all the way in order, but I got to talk to a good friend and I had my 3 clients and I was able to take a nap, and then I had another client, then I had my meeting and I went and got me some tacos. But it was a good night. I even picked up some preseason football, which was good to watch. Just a little bit. I couldn't watch a lot. And I talked to some real important people like my niece and stuff. So it just feels like a good day. I'm in a good place mentally. I just came off a vacation, you all. So I think that helped too. And I'm sleeping better. So that sleep is imperative. All right. Hope you're doing good where you are too after all that. Reasons why some of us are not getting what we want. For me, I always wanted to be a singer. That was my claim to fame. I sang 20 years in a choir, really over that. I would always sing at home. I still sing now. I sing with Smule, S-M-U-L-E, an app where you can sing with people from all around the world. It's so cool. You can do a duet, you can do a solo. But that's my love, my passion. As a vocational high school student, I was majoring in business. So when I became an adult, I started working in the business world here in Chicago. I know one of my first corporate jobs was American Express downtown Chicago. I hated it. Dreadful. Hated it. I would have to process checks. You send in a check for $500. I key in 500.00, slide it through. Next check, 190.190.00, slide through. Had to do so many per hour. Most ridiculous job on earth. Hated it. Would be falling asleep, headphones falling off because you could listen to music. I just don't do good with non-brain thinking jobs. So without boring you with my corporate career, it just continued. Different jobs I kept getting, but I never was happy, and I knew that. So after getting sick with breast cancer, there's one thing about if you battle a major illness or maybe lose someone you love, hopefully, prayerfully, you have an epiphany or you start really thinking about life and what a day means to you and what you really want to do on earth. And sometimes you just get sick and tired of being sick and tired and you're like, I'm out. I got to find me something else to do. I can't do this anymore. So long story short, after being sick and once I healed, I said, I'm going to be a life coach because people would always come to me with questions about their life, or I feel like I'm easy to talk to. I'm a great listener. So that's always been a plus for me. So I became a life coach in 2010. People didn't know what a life coach was. I did workshops. I mean, it went okay, but not the best. And I finally said, you're going to have to go on to be a therapist. I told my therapist years prior, I would like to do what you're doing. And she said, you just have to get you a master's degree. I was like, I don't want to get no master's degree. So that's why it was a delay. So by 2014, I paid off some of my old debt for my college, got my BA. I'm not going to tell you how long it took me to pay that. We don't want to talk about that. But I graduated many years prior. So I got my degree. And then I was able to move on to my master's degree, which, I got that in 2018 and became a social worker. Then I got my LSW. Now I have my LCSW. And I resigned from my job 2 months ago. And I have my own practice. And it is booked and busy, baby. Okay. Before I got to that, I graduated in 2018. I did get a job in my field. I was a career business advisor where I work with youth and try to help them get manufacturing jobs. Them kids didn't want to work. I didn't want to do a smoke weed. It was just ridiculous. The office was dirty and dusty. I took like a real big pay cut. I couldn't stay there. So I stayed there a few months and I was like, yeah, this is not paying me enough. And taking that pay cut, my bills were starting to, become harder to pay. And I'm like, I just don't want to live like this. So I said, Tammy, go back to corporate and do private practice part-time. And that's what I did. So I took this job very close to my house, like 7 minutes. Good company, great benefits, great salary. It was in HR. I started off temping and they liked me so much. Within 3 months, I got offered a permanent job as an HR advisor 2 or something like that. Great job. But it was like call center. There was only 4 of us, but it still was calls coming in. You had to answer questions. And I'm just not the phone type that want to be sitting on the phone answering questions. Some days I just didn't want to be bothered. But the job paid me well, and they gave us bonuses. So it was a decent job for what I needed it for. But I still was like, ugh. And finally it clicked. I said, Tammy, kick the stank out this job. Answer every call with integrity. Be nice and kind, which that became easy. And I'm telling you, those retirees and employees, mainly the retirees, because that was the most of our calls, they would be like, Tammy, is your supervisor near? I must tell them how great you are. So I started getting embarrassed because every few weeks I'm like, my supervisor, hey, they want to talk to you. Another great call. And she would be like, send them over. I like great calls. She didn't want to hear them complaints. We didn't get a lot of complaints, but the good calls she was so happy to get. And I felt proud of myself because I was like, this is a pit stop. This is not my final destination. This is not even what I want to do, but I'm doing an excellent job because I know I'm going to get away from here. So it was time for our review, and they went to like payroll and the benefits group to get feedback about your job because I was in HR. So they wanted to know from the other departments, how do I interact with them? Payroll. She was like, Tammy is phenomenal. Any payroll problems, she knows how to answer it. She helps our employees. Whoop to the womb. Benefits, this lady, she was never friendly. Whatever. Not a fan favorite, and she tried to rip me up. She was like, oh, she doesn't do enough research. She's asking me questions she should answer. She was right because I didn't know benefits hardly. And so before I tell someone an incorrect answer, I'm going to go to the damn benefits specialist. So I guess she thought I should have known benefits. When I just got to leave that there because I've even said something on here and it's just not going to make me look good. So anyway, when she did that, and I was like, man, you're going to do that for my review? But people don't care. You all know about corporate and these jobs. People don't care. But this is what I said in my mind. I said, cool, bet. You're not going to see me anyway. I'm getting me a new job. And you are within a few months. I think it was weeks, but definitely a few months. I want to say like 8 to 10 weeks, but maybe it was 3 months. I don't even know. And I was at youth guidance. I left and I said, I hope she walked by my desk and see me gone. Well, I knew she was going to know because she talked to the manager a lot, but that was a good moment. So what am I trying to say? Even when you're doing a job you hate or don't like, you are lining yourself up for your next position, your next career move, your next business. Do well, even when you don't like something, because you are setting the tone for what you want. You'll hear people say, I want a house. You come in their apartment, panties in the floor, dirty dishes piled up. They don't pay their rent. How do you want a house when you don't even take care of what you have? I want to give me a new car. Windows are greasy on their car. One hubcap missing. Car dirty, stuff piled up. You get in their car. Excuse me one moment. Let me try to clean this out. Take care of what you got. So when you get better, you already know how to take care of it. The singer, Johnny Gill, for you R&B heads, he was saying how when he joined New Edition, they gave him Boys to Men to sing. In case you don't know much about Johnny Gill, he was a singer before New Edition. He sang with Stacey Latta song like 82, 83. So he came to them already with a career. He didn't even have to join New Edition. I was kind of shocked when he joined because I thought he was like a solo artist. I'm like, why is he joining a group? It didn't make sense to me, but it works. It worked and it works. But he said they gave him Boys to Men. He said, I effed that shit up. That's how he described it. He was like, Boys to Men. It was kind of like a bubblegum joke song to him. But he still wooed it up. If y'all know Johnny Gill, y'all know what I'm saying. So that's what you got to do. Johnny Gill up, whatever you're working on, and don't get discouraged. Because I know how you feel when you're at a job you despise, or maybe you have to live with a relative for 7-8 months to save money to buy your house, or you're doing a part-time job plus your job trying to get to your business. You're trying to open your business, but you need this extra money, and you just feel like I don't want to do this. I hate this. But when you do it with a good attitude, you will win. And it's like, even with your health, sometimes we complain, but if you can walk, you can talk. You got food in the refrigerator. You got clothes on your back, clothes in your closet. You blessed beyond measure. We have to bloom where we are. Got that from Joel Osteen. And be grateful for what we have. Then you will get more. If you have a lot of debt, just work on paying those bills down. Just work on it. Be diligent. Next thing you know, you got 2 credit cards paid off, 4, 5, 6. Next thing you know, you debt free. And then when you have less debt, you have freedom. But it's a process. But try to do it with a good attitude. I know it's not always easy. I'm not saying I always do it right. But I do notice when I turned my, attitude around with that job I didn't want, that's when that youth guidance job came. And that's when things really began to open up for me. So think about that. Is that what's blocking you from getting what you want? Do you believe you can get what you want? Are you doubtful? Are you speaking that negative way of talking, saying I'm broke and I'm never going to get what I want? I'm never getting married. People say this stuff. Oh, I'm never getting married. I'm broke. I'm always broke. And then some people, they'll just go from one thing to the next. My car acting up. I don't have any money in my account. I hate my job. And it's like they're just looking at everything negative. And I'm not saying they're not correct, because you watching, you probably have been where I've been at, where it's like the car was breaking down, checking account looking funny. I had temporary jobs. They were ending. And sometimes I would just have to laugh, because it would be like 3 and 4 things at the same time. And I just would I'd be like, is this a joke? Because I could not believe how bad my life was going. But right at the nick of time, a new position would come, paying way more. I ended up getting a newer car. And, by, years, it took a couple of years or so, I started having extra money in my account. Now I have, money in the 401k. I'm paying off debt. Things did turn around. So hold on, even when things are not the best, and be grateful for what you have, and do a surveillance of what you have, and do the best on your job. Do the best with the car you have. Keep it clean. Keep your house clean, and be grateful. What Prince say, the late singer Prince? Sometimes I just say, thank you to God. That's his prayer. That was his prayer sometimes. Thank you. Not help me with this. I need that. Simply saying thank you. And you want to get something, help somebody else with something. If you can help somebody, even by just listening to them, giving them a ride somewhere, you may not have a lot of money for them, but being kind to others will help you get what you want. What you think about what I said? What you think? What you talking about? It's definitely time to go to bed because I'm being silly. Alrighty, Tammi C. Walker. I just want to drop that little information for you. Drop me comments. You all know I love the comments. Love the comments. And let me know what you think. And let me know maybe sometimes when you were down and out and you was able to turn it around by your hard work and your good attitude. Signing off. Have a good night. Bye.